Sorry, all I forgot. I had one more topic that I left out of the last live. It's huge. I'll give it that minute to let people log on. Another huge stat. And we got to talk about that. More on the hypocrisy of the anti-vaxxer. As I wait for people to log on now, and I hope I'm not in a dead spot, but I see people are starting to come on. So hello there. I forgot to talk about the grandparents. We talk about this COVID-19 and the pandemic. Do you want to know a huge stat in Alberta right now? Is grandparents raising grandchildren. I know this for a fact. I live it. And I know a lot of people who are doing this. I'm working in Ontario. Just like when I was in Alberta. How many times did I get home in a month to my children? How many times in 3 months did I get home to my children? The answer is hardly ever. Always working. And now I'm in Ontario. Who's helping with my daughters while I'm in Ontario? Well, that would be my parents who are over the age of 70. I'm not alone in this. I know lots of people over the age of 70 basically raising grandchildren. This is a huge stat. It's all across Canada. And a lot of people are lying and denying about that too. When you talk about vaccine and protecting those over the age of 65, that's your parents for a lot of us. That's a lot of people's grandparents. We're in tough times. Tough times. 2 parents working and it's still not enough to pay the bills. We watch inflation go through the roof. You know what the stats are of grandparents looking after children are just in the province of Alberta? The highest they've ever been in Alberta's history. That's a fact. You can put that in your pipe and smoke it too. That's COVID-19. Reality check. Those going back to work rely on their parents. A lot of people. I look at Tina. She's raising her grandchild. Dakota, we're taking care of him. My parents are taking care of my girls half the time. Well, I'm in Ontario making the money to pay for my girls. That's reality. I'm not ashamed to talk about that. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that. How many of you have your grandparents or your parents helping out with the children? Lots. I've read the numbers. I've seen the stats. That's reality. That's the biggest hypocrisy and the self-serving anti-vaxxer. We'd all love to be at home on the government's tit looking after kids, but somebody's got to pay the bills in this country. And for those looking at $10 a day daycare, that's for those under the age of kinder. That's reality. Everybody else has to go through it like I go through it, like so many others go through it, like 200,000 other families in Alberta displaced by the oil field. Don't tell me those grandparents ain't looking after those kids. I live it every day. We got a pretty good sized family. My parents stepped up to the plate and they're in their 70s. That's my video. I think there's a lot of hypocrisy out there and a lot of selfish liars. Spoiled, rotten, pathetic pricks and bitches out there crying the blues in their soup because it's all about them and all about their bullshit and not about their fellow man, let alone those over the age of 60 who are predominantly affected by COVID-19. And there's a whole pile underneath that too, depending on their health, depending on their work history, depending on all the environmental factors. We see it all the time. I know the 4th wave. I went through a pile of friends. Never in my lifetime have I ever seen that before. It's not COVID. Fuck right off. That's what I say. That's my video. Share, because it's true and it's backed up in statistics. right out of the province of Alberta. And there's a lot of people lying to themselves and then perpetuating that lie. And there's even grandparents out there doing a hell of a lot for grandkids perpetuating these lies. I sure hope they're not the ones who fall victim in the end. We all have a time clock, and COVID-19 don't help. That's reality. 17 associated diseases affected in a large part by COVID-19. That's reality, the damage it does to your cells. I'm tired of everybody telling me there's no virus, it's not isolated. I found that out a long time ago, just in the province of Saskatchewan. Published 18 months ago. You people get sickening, it gets disturbing, it gets to the point where it's lunatic. And I'm just tired of it. I want you all gone. All of you, because you're useless and good for nothing. You're just like those radical environmentalists, extreme leftists, because you're the same. You go so far to the right, extreme right, you end up at the extreme left, and vice versa. I've talked about that for umpteen years, and it's alive and well with COVID-19. And it's pathetic. I want nothing to do with any of these people. Bye now. Have a great day.